At all costs, I have always wanted to avoid the attitude too often adopted by professional architects and planners, that the community has nothing worth the professional's consideration, that all its problems can be solved by the importation of the sophisticated urban approach to building. If possible, I want to bridge the gulf that separates folk architecture from architects' architecture. The urban scale has become unbalanced, owing to people being more concerned with economic gain as opposed to the needs of people and the effects of social impact. A conviction to solve urban poverty can only work if inspired by love. Devote yourself completely to the cause by being willing to live in the environment you're transforming, as opposed to the comfort of your own home. Spaces need to be designed to provide a sense of community and neighborhood so that users want to take ownership of their space and be able to identify with the space. Culture should be an integral part of architecture, specific to the context of communities. Architecture should provide socially and economically viable public housing suited to its context that is affordable for the majority. Hassan Fathy puts neglected traditional building systems to work in favor of public health and economical considerations for the poor. The use of local materials and construction methods makes vernacular architecture accessible to a wider audience. These methods include ancient craft skills, an anti-colonial stance, and appropriate technology. In order to use mud as a building material, Hassan Fathy uses adobe arches and vaults to construct roofs, hence eliminating expensive formwork and making the construction economically viable. Mutualistic exchange of teaching and learning are crucial to achieve critical social engagement instead of an authoritative approach. Initially, Hassan Fathy was educated by local inhabitants in the adobe construction methods. This enabled him to train other local inhabitants to make their own buildings and build with immediately available materials. One may argue that men need beauty as much as protection. The reason for that is that we know that children who are deprived of visually interesting environments in their early years do not develop brains appropriately programmed to deal with many of the problems of maturity.